Feminism is not about having blind support for any woman. It's about making sure that you support women who are worthy candidates. Why do we need women in politics? The reason we need women in politics is because we don't have our voices around so that we can hear and we can speak. We are silenced medically, education, our children. We are all silenced by not being involved in politics. I have been involved in politics my entire life, since I was a little child. My mom worked for an MP, she then worked for a minister, and I grew up in it. And one of the things that I expressed the most with my mom growing up, and we don't get along on anything else, was that we need women in politics because if we don't show that we can contribute, nothing gets done. We have to be there. We have to make sure that we can have our voice be heard. And the thing that I appreciate the most about being able to come here was I came here from a place of anger. I was devastated at the civic election. We got women elected. That was awesome. I was not working on any of their teams because they didn't ask me. And I ran this massive campaign, and I felt I couldn't celebrate what everyone else was celebrating. But I do social media for a living. And outside of my day job, I am your MP online. That's me. And I made sure that he had the phone numbers and people could call. And I'm like, we need to set these meetings. We need to do these things. And there are so many roles that we can have inside politics to make things better. How women can change the political tides by becoming involved. We saw an election in the NWT that changed our landscape. We now have more representation, and you can do that by becoming involved, by saying, we're going to go out voting, we're going to go do these things, and you can say, hey, I need you to come and help. I need you to come listen. I need you to become involved. And you can change the tide, you can change elections. We've seen all across the world different election results and people having anger, and they're not liking what they're seeing, and they're like, I don't like this. You can be the change as women to fix this. If you go and you speak to 5 other women who have never voted before, and they go to the polls, and they each bring 5 more women, we can change the voting. Change the voting counts. We can see more people come out and vote. We can see more women become elected. We can change it so that we have people and representation that reflects us in society. And people always say, well, I can't do it. Like, it's too much work. There's not enough time. There are little things that you can do. And like, I have a day home. I work from home. I spend most of my day in my pajamas, right? And I have little tiny babies, and I'm like angry fighting the patriarchy, being angry, but that little hug of that little baby makes things all better because I'm angry. And it's like, I'm doing this for you, little person, because I want him to grow up in a world in which there are better, more diverse, more voices heard everywhere. And changing the tides by becoming involved is such an easy thing to do by just saying, yeah, I can do this. Yeah, I'm able to like stand up. I'm able to find a person to help me, or come listen to this person talk, or I belong to this group or this party or this special interest group. Come listen to me. Come listen to what we have to say. And the best politicians are the ones that know that they can't do it alone. You need a team, so let's build one. I ran a campaign recently, and the person had been an autonomous person, so ran for political office in which city council, where you just run and you go do it yourself. When you want to run for something bigger, you need a team. The answer is you always need a team. You cannot do this alone. Everyone knows in their life, to get anything done, you need support. You have your friends, you have your family, you have your loved ones, you have your children, you have the people that you build up. And when you want to do something like run for office or you want to help run a campaign, you need an entire team of people to do it. And I got pushback. I got so much pushback. There's no way I can find 15 people. I'm like, yes, you can. Anyone can find 15 people that love and support them. If you want to run for office, if you want to go and put your name forward for something, whether you're running for a PAC, in a school or a school board, you can find 15 people that can say to you, you and your opinion are valued. And we can get a team together. So you get a person and you talk about it and it's like, well, I'm terrified of public speaking, I can't go do that. Or, but you write really good speeches. There's a billion of these forums and people coming to me from these different interest groups going, hey, what's your opinion about this? I don't know if I've thought of an opinion of what that is yet, but you have friends within your social circle that do, that can help guide you, that you can go and sit and have a meeting. And in today's society, we don't need to be together physically. My support team, when I ran for a national position, for the political party I belonged to, was a support team of people across the country. We didn't have a lot of support for people to travel from here 6,000 kilometers away. So I had to build it by having electronic conveyance. We were able to go and have Google Chats. We were able to go and sit and have conversations and talk and sound off. There are apps and things that we can use now to have workplace messaging. And every time I have an idea or I'm like, I don't know about this news thing, or what's my opinion on this? Somebody else in there going, oh no, don't you say that. Like, no, like think it through, like get off your place of anger. I know you're passionate about this, but no, you need to like step off and have that sounding board. And we have the ability to have these teams to work together to run for office. And it's not as scary as it used to be. Taking the scary step to run for office is horrifying. I was horrified to do this year. I did it myself, and I came out, and I lost by extremely close margin, and I'm not even allowed to publicly say by how close. Because when you run with a collective, you have to be supportive of the person afterwards. Even though, because you're all on the same team. So it's not like running where you run for office against someone and you have very different opinions. When you run within the same group, we're all on the same page and we all have to lift and support each other afterwards. It's hard. You're going to spend a lot of time being sad because it is hard, but your voice carries power. You have the ability to go, I don't like what you are doing with this government, with this school board, with this whatever you're running for, and say, I want to fix it. And the only way to do it is to sometimes take that step and do it yourself and say, hey, I'm going to do this. I'm going to make this better. And sometimes we fail, and it's horrible, and it's devastating. But that team that we talked about earlier, those are the people who lift you up and go, hey, no, you got this. Like, you're going to go out and you're going to do it again. And you're going to fix it. And you're going to get to that point. And whether you choose to take the leadership role to run for office again, or whether you choose to be that person online doing the social media for them, because let's face it, most politicians have got other things to do because they can't walk through the store or the mall or anywhere without everyone stopping to tell them what's wrong. And you just stop having a personal life ever because you can't go anywhere. How supporting and empowering women to take leadership in rules and democracy makes our world a better place to live in is one that's very important to me. I had something that I cared very much about when I was younger. And it was the right to die. And in Canada, we have right to die legislation now, and it isn't perfect. It is something that I had from a personal experience of losing my father when I was 15. And I was unhappy with the cultural society of how people felt about how we treat our animals and how we treat our people. And there's all kinds of emotional things involved in it. And there's parts of people who are religious and people who are not, and they have various different opinions of it. But by going and advocating and keeping the conversation for 20 years, I saw a change in legislation. And it isn't perfect, and I'm not happy with it, but we're getting there. And the conversation's been started. And it's not scary anymore. And every single one of you in this room has an issue that you care that much about. It's different for all of us. And you can't sit by and not become involved and not think that it's going to just happen. The work that I did to make that happen, the work that I did to make sure there was me going, I'm holding them to account. These people, these politicians, these people, this political party, they're not going to do it unless there's somebody in the room. So I am that angry lady. I am the angry lady with the bright colored hair who anybody would say, that's the angry daycare lady. She's mad. She's mad about stuff again. Oh no, she's in the room. She's angry. She's going to get up and she's going to be mad at us all. But I'm mad because I know from the values that my mother showed me as a small child that the only way to fix things politically is to become involved, is to take that step and figure out, where do I fit in the roles? I mean, there's not everybody who's going to want to come up and stand on stage and talk. There are people who are like, I don't ever want to be a politician full time. I personally don't ever want to be, because I can't stop swearing. And I can't stop telling people off online that make me angry. And those are not qualities that are good in a politician. But I am really good at knowing, okay, my person lost, but today I'm going to get up in my pool of tears and I'm going to give it a list. And I'm going to say, these are the things I need to do today. These are the things I need to do today. This person needs to call every person who won, every single woman who won today, and congratulate them. He's a male member of Parliament, but he needs to support them. And he needs to make sure that anything they need to help, that he's there for them. And then I needed to make sure that we got all of our messaging down and all the rest of it. So our group, we all got together, we read about what we were going to do, and it's a team of various different people, and most of them are women. Because I surround myself with other smart women, and I make sure that we have the difference of opinions and we have the different things. I'm a not religious person. I'm loud and angry, but I'm very introverted. And I have a person who is great at spelling and very religious and spends a lot of time caring about things I don't care about at all. But having that person to bounce back with and be supportive in the role together makes it so that we can have an effective team. And then we present our team for our person in the front who has the skill set to be polite to people all the time, not 10% of the time like me, and show that it can be done. And we see things happening. And one of the things that is most important to express to you all is that you all have something to give. You all have something to give in politics. And not everyone has the time, but they have the money. Not everyone has the time, but they have the ability to proofread a thing. You can go and say, I'm never knocking on doors, and get out the vote. Knocking on doors is such an important and integral part of finding connections. But that person can say, I can host a coffee in my house, and I can introduce you to 5 of my friends, and you can listen to their issues, And maybe those people might have donors or have different skill sets or things that they're able to contribute. And that's where we can bring and bridge together groups of people and build our team and find our new candidates and find our people that are going to be our voice as women to make sure that we are represented in politics. Because when we aren't represented in politics, we have things like we don't get abortions when we need them. We don't get health care. My friend dies of a heart attack because they don't do studies on women and hearts, because it's not important to the male people in charge. We need representation so that we're at the table, so that we're able to have our voices be lifted up and heard. And we definitely have the power as an entire group of people to change elections and make sure that we're heard. And it's not hard. It really isn't. And I know a lot of people will just keep telling me, but Christina, it's so scary. Like, I just can't. I can't be that person in the room, and I can't do these things. But if you can get a group of people together, you can get people out to the polls, you can empower other women by telling them that they did a great job, that they have value, that they're important, you will find that person in your group that is capable of doing it. And it's an amazing thing. Thank you very much.